Most alphas that like that are they don't want to fight. The last thing because they know they can hurt you. Like those guys are cool because they're like, yeah, I don't want to fight at all. Like whatever, guy, you're tougher than me.
Why do you think I've never thrown hands with you, Scopo?
I know, buddy. I know. Don't worry about it. Right?
Heart rate still dead.
A diver.
3 beats a minute. One for him, one for the girl you came with, and the third for her after she leaves with him. Just so you know. Enjoy the succulents.
You're listening to the Dear Buddies podcast.
You will grow from boys into men. Whatever, dude.
What does that look? Don't get weird on me.
Hey, buddy.
For all those questions you can't bring yourself to ask your friends, ask your buddies.
But it's the idea is like to just trying to get like a little bit more vulnerable and like exposing yourself. Nothing crazy. Feel free to pass if you don't answer the question.
We're trying to
like dive more into our like the topics that we do.
I appreciate it.
But we're trying to have a good time too. Not
we
too
want to have
serious
fun
here.
But have a real answer, but also like
It's an
we'll also
interesting
have fun with
topic
it.
for pussies.
And that's the opening clip. Mark it. Welcome to the Dear Buddies podcast. Thank you so much for joining us. We have a really great guest today. Before we get to that, make sure you rate, review, subscribe, all that good stuff on our YouTube page. You can find all of our information on our Instagram at Dear Buddies Podcast. There's a link there. We also do a Patreon. Once a week, we do a brand new second episode of our old podcast called Sweet Buddies, which reached the top 15 on iTunes comedy charts at one point. Then we just got lazy.
13.
It was top 13, baby. Don't make it.
It was number 13. I was giving us a little juice. I was actually bringing it back.
Nobody does a top 13, but to be fair, nobody does a top 15 either.
We were in the top 100 podcasts on iTunes at one point, and then we just got sick and tired of each other and stopped. So yeah, check that out. Also, on there's a Patreon, patreon.com/DearBuddiesPodcast. So make sure you hit that up. That's where you get all that extra bonus content. Blah blah blah.
Yeah,
Pav,
our guest.
take us away, buddy. This is gonna be a fun one. We're having a good time.
Our guest, the hilarious Nate Craig. You've seen him on Netflix Maniac. Opens for Bill Burr. He's got a special on all things comedy. Preferred customer. The guy is hilarious. Every time, me and you don't see each other for 2 years. Every time I see you, feels like I hung out with you the day before.
We hit the ground running.
We really, really do.
I'm honored to be asked to come and chop it up with you, all you guys. Because that's exactly for that same reason. We hit the ground running.
Yeah. I was thinking about that today. I go, me and this guy, I don't think I saw him for 3 years.
Yeah.
Next thing I know, we're having 3 beers. We're talking about everything.
I haven't seen you since 2 plagues ago. And we had it all.
Since the SARS? You're a SARS guy?
Seen you since bird flu.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
I'm like, why are me and this guy always getting along? Well, you haven't really been drinking, right? Which is whatever, but we had a couple pops the other night.
We had a couple pops, and I thank you for that. I thank you for that hall
It's been
pass.
2 years since you drank, since he last saw you. But no, good for you, buddy. Bring it back.
I just tried heroin today. Thanks for that. Yeah, appreciate it.
Just when I thought I was out.
They pull you back in, baby. We love talking sports. We love just shooting the shit. You're from, and I think it's because you're a Wisconsin kid. I'm a Canadian kid. We got that. We bond about those cold winters, those fresh beers.
Mm-hmm.
Couple hockey talks.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, here we are.
Yeah.
We're just shooting the shit.
Adjacent lifestyles.
Very adjacent
Adjacent
lifestyles.
upbringings. Yeah, I told no question. I feel that way about most of the people that I meet and work with from Canada, from Toronto or Winnipeg or wherever.
Winnipeg.
Sorry, I didn't mean to lump you in there. I get along with.
I feel like there's an all things comedy thing too, because the first, like I just met you 5 minutes ago and we're already shooting the shit, having a good time. But like first time I met Joe Bartnick, it was like immediately I was like, oh, this is my cousin.
Yeah.
Like I felt like we already were thick as thieves.
Same size?
Yeah, basically. We have the same skull size.
Fishbowl heads. Yeah, for sure.
Furzy, like all the.
You guys are a fucking 2 matching smokestacks, like a fucking nuclear power plant.
No, actually, they're not. They're together when they're drunk. It's a big problem. They are typhoon and earthquake. From
there are no
the
2
80s.
stop signs in Queens. They won't take on. By
If you look
themselves.
closely, neither of us blink, so it's very terrifying.
Remember that video game Rampage with with the Godzilla and King Kong. They're just punching, eating ladies, blowing fire. That's Bartnick, and we'll throw Bartnick in an image so we know what we're talking about here. But yeah, you're from Madison, Wisconsin, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which Madison it's the capital of Wisconsin. But when I think of Wisconsin, I think dairy farmers. I think good people, but love to hit the bars, love to get a couple sodies in them, and maybe a couple tilts. Good people during the day, enjoyable people at night, have a couple beers.
For how good they are, or at least for how good the reputation is, there's the little dark side.
When the sun's up, great people. Sun's down, they got something to prove.
Yeah. They don't know where the bodies are buried because they don't bother to bury the bodies. They just, if you don't like the bodies they got laying around, well, maybe that's a you problem.
I was going to say, a lot of serial killers coming out of Wisconsin.
Yeah, no
you guys are
question.
strong about
No
that.
Is there
question.
actually?
Oh yeah, dude. We got. I mean,
Making a Murder, of course, I know that. That's from Wisconsin, but he's whatever.
Midwest.
John Wayne Gacy was Chicago. Ed Gein is and then Dahmer's the most famous.
Yeah, he's the Hall of Famer. Yeah, first rounder.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't even know
No,
that.
and then there's a long history. I mean, you don't really keep track. You don't you got to be a psycho to keep a psycho index in your head. So, but like, you go to some places like I was joking about
This is Gacy's house. This is Gacy's house.
Yeah,
Right there.
The murder Rolodex in the
Talking to a
noodle.
girl, we're down the street from John Wasey's childhood home.
Or
You
like
know that.
obscure, we're like, well, that's where Lucy Barnhill used to pick people up from a bus stop. I mean, there's a long list. Like, everybody where you go has a long list of psychos that just never made the top 5 for like a decade.
For Wisconsin,
Yeah.
for the Midwest, it's like you're like good for you.
Yeah,
look who we got in our shed.
Dude, I mean, especially before the not all of them made the internet. Right? Like back when it was like
The top 13, if you will.
Right.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, the top 13 is the internet.
They start from 8 bodies up. That's where they go. If 8 or below, it's not even ranking. We're not even ranking.
There's no record of you.
See, 8 or below, you're a Division 2 player.
You're
That's
still
what
on,
you are.
all your greatest hits are still on microfiche. You're not even cracking. Jeeves didn't even know about you. But there's all kinds of. You know where it has a lot of those is fucking Detroit, dude. If Google next time you go, I mean, Google Detroit serial killers.
I mean, I'm not planning to go to Detroit anytime soon, but
there's a lot.
Current?
I mean, no.
Wait,
just over the years. Like,
No, but are there any current? Like,
I don't know. I don't think I think serial killers. The serial killers got replaced by mass shooters,
yes.
because there's too many cameras. You can't
DNA and shit.
No mass shooting's gonna last longer than a day. Much less than
it's quantity over quality. Mass shooters. You get 13 one shot.
Yeah,
COVID probably also took them out too. Like, no one's going to want to get close to a stranger, during COVID.
You don't
so
need to get close
you
when
can't
you
get
have
too
an
close to
AR-47, Mike.
to stab. Well, that's what I'm saying. The serial
He's just
killers.
walking around, I wouldn't go
The
to that guy.
pandemic it ruined it.
Yeah,
it ruined
they-
serial killing.
Yeah,
It's a
ruined
bummer.
it. That's a
No,
lot.
it's coming back.
It's
It's
not
coming
the
back.
serial killer era. Yeah.
We lost a lot of things during the pandemic. A lot of great restaurants went out.
We need
a lot of
good-
hand-to-hand murders.
We need a good long-term power outage.
Yeah.
We need a good long-term power outage, and serial killers will make a comeback.
Yeah, I'm telling you though, like if you go on Netflix, like Netflix loves murder. Like they always have. You just watch a few of them. Like, I think this guy's also from Wisconsin.
Yeah,
it's this guy's also. It's like
Right.
it's something in the water. You want to kill
Yeah.
people.
Well,
Yeah.
Detroit's the Midwest, right? Is
Yeah.
it technically?
Totally, yeah. It's Eastern time, but it's Michigan.
So is there a thing to be said about the Midwest? I mean,
I think the cabin fever's got something to do with it.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys got serial killers, but
we do. We got a
you
couple
got
serial killers who
you got
are.
a couple doozies up there.
They don't really make it to America though. Like you guys.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
you
yeah.
guys, everybody gives you guys credit for being so
Listen,
nice.
we're not gonna outsource our own killers. If we're gonna highlight our own, it's gonna be an American-made
Yeah.
serial killer.
Yeah, no, hey,
Yeah,
by all
dude,
means.
we wouldn't allow a Canadian to like,
Yeah.
you go back
Yeah.
to your own country and
Yeah.
kill your own people.
Yeah.
Who do you
Don't
think?
come to our country and take our people out.
Who you think you are, Napoleon? Stay in your own fucking country and kill your own people. This is Russia, baby. You don't touch us.
So yeah, so growing up in Wisconsin, I mean, again, I assume it's friendly, but
Why don't you introduce the theme? Like,
well,
what
we're
talking
going to talk about
Oh.
aggression, male aggression. Obviously, that Will Smith slap. A lot of people are talking about male aggression, why it happened. Made me question how I act when things happen. I want to fight Scopo. Literally, I'm not even joking. I want to fight you every day. Every day. And I know it is.
Mutual, bud.
I know it is. But why don't we do it? Because I think we're.
I challenged you to a fight in my garage one time via text message, and you pussed out. You straight up pussed out on me.
I am so glad we are sitting in the middle of you guys.
Let's leave.
This is the.
I'll sit right over there with you and watch this happen.
I do got cameras everywhere.
Me and him went at it one time, like 1:30 in the morning, texting each other on the group chat, and Mike just wakes up to 47 messages going, "I'll fight you tomorrow at noon in my garage. I have extra boxing gloves. Let's go."
So so that's an interesting kind of jump off for this question, because we're in the era of the technology, the sheer level of rage on the internet. Like some people saying shit they would never say face to face to strangers. They do it on the internet. Would you guys say, is that the closest you guys ever came to fighting, and it was over text message? Did that have anything to do with it?
No, we've fought a few times.
Yeah, we fought a few times. I think we're 1-1.
Yeah, we 1-1. Yeah,
I think we're 1-1. You
1-1.
beat me up in Queens, and I beat you up in North Carolina.
I beat you up in the streets of Queens.
You beat me up
it
in
was
the
home field advantage. I felt it. No, we have to fight in Queens again to really take it down.
It was a nighttime fight.
Yeah.
Sun goes down, something to prove.
He pinned me on the street, and he had me beat, but he was a gentleman, so he didn't actually destroy me, and we were yelling. It was very late, and we got heckled by like a pure New Yorker. Heckled us. He's like, "Julia, shut up!" And together, that's when we both went, "You fuck yourself!" And then that's how we sort of got back on
we get
friendship.
friendly terms.
Yeah. So
Did you feel like anything was accomplished though in that fight?
I really remember it.
Yeah, we were drunk. Not really, but I don't think we're ever gonna actually fight.
No, I mean maybe once.
Maybe
twice.
one day.
Yeah. Hopefully.
It's not gonna go well. There's not gonna be we're not gonna progress, right?
No, not at all.
It's
long
only
as long as your eyes and hands are okay.
Yeah, that's true.
Fuck teeth, broken bones, fine.
This is a man who played
guess.
hockey, of course, right? Teeth are very fixable.
Teeth are fixable.
Yeah, you could fix them up in.
You're not really seeing eye replacements going on too much.
No.
That look natural.
See, Nate, well-spoken, intelligent guy, a handsome man. A lot of the ladies have many great things to say about you. Guaranteed, you've had a couple tilts in your life. Being from Wisconsin, did you have to? Did you have to throw down a couple times?
The two times I've really thrown down with a stranger, I've probably 3 fights with strangers, a couple fights when I was kids with friends, but like nothing. Like I can punch pretty quick. I just don't have like punching hands.
I will say you're wiry.
You gotta have
knuckles.
you got
punching hands.
You have the knuckles of someone who could probably do some damage though.
I've mashed those up.
You got big hands too.
You think so? Because
Yeah.
these are not. Every time I punch somebody in the face, I break my hand.
But that means you're giving it all you got, which says a lot.
Jeez, that's so. I like. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. If I'm being vulnerable about my masculinity, it makes me feel really good. You say I have big hands because I can borrow my sister's gloves.
Well, that's just more about your sister, I think.
She's a tall gal. But I mean, like they never. Some kids' dads, who taught them how to fight. My dad never taught me how to fight. The first thing I'm gonna tell my kid is how heavy heads are. Heads are. I mean, you're punching a cinder block, dude.
Yeah. I heard
There's a little bit of cushion on there, so try to hit something that moves.
I've actually never heard. That's a phenomenal approach to parenting. Me, not a parent, but I feel like you don't want to tell your kid not to fight, but you sort of want to not encourage them, and that's a hell of a way. That a head
Over a
is
kidney shot. That'll take you out. Kidney shots will take you out.
Okay.
You can tell your kids not to
the
fight,
approach,
but they're gonna do it.
Yeah.
Like no matter how many times I was told not to fight. My dad was never a don't fight. He was just like, don't ever start a fight.
Yeah.
That's
My
how I
dad
was
too.
raised.
My
Same
dad
thing.
too.
Don't start it, but finish it.
Yeah, and then there's so much implicit in that. It's like because starting a fight includes being an asshole, being disrespectful, being out of line, being not knowing where you're at, not being aware. I mean, so much goes into.
There's a lot of interpretation.
I think not knowing where you're at is a huge thing. If you're at somewhere where you don't know the area well, like don't start a fight. That's the last thing you want to do.
Yeah,
you
no,
don't
no.
know who's coming from what angle,
Right.
and is going to hit you head with a bottle.
No, you're insane if you're
you-
starting a fight in another town.
Yeah,
that you don't know anything
just
about.
know
Yeah,
where
yeah.
you are, know where you're around at the time. If you're by yourself, obviously don't start a fight by yourself. You're gonna get killed. But like,
Thank you for
but don't like start
an unbelievable tip.
I thought
By all means, get your friends killed.
Yeah. At least if you got a couple buds with you, you have a puncher's chance.
No, you're totally right. I mean,
Sorry, sir.
but I mean, this conversation, we could go anywhere. There's some people who just like that position. They like being in a position of being like a real life actual heel. Like they, for some reason, they have like a sickness, whether it's like they're like a masochist or like they like knowing that they can get under people's skin and they're not afraid to get, some people like a beating.
Emotionally, they have a jet black beard and a blonde mustache. Like, that's just who they are.
Yeah,
they've NWO'd in their own life, and now they're just a heel.
I think also that the worst kinds of people are guys who know how to fight and go out trying to fight somebody at night.
Without question, the
that's
worst
the
kind
way.
of
If you know how to fight, you should not. You should try not to fight.
Of course.
Basically.
Yeah, of course.
If you know how to fight,
everything you can to not.
Yeah, just because you know how dangerous your hands are.
Right.
But if you're going out like I'm going to start, I've seen guys like, I want to start a fight tonight. They bump into you on purpose. Like, let's go. And I'm like, what are you? I'm not fighting you. Stop it.
I sent you guys the article or whatever, that Harvard article, and it is pretty crazy. It's interesting because you never really think about it, but like we're socialized to be like powerful and strong. Like when you're a kid, you see a little boy, you go, oh, look at how strong he is, and when it's a girl, you go, oh, look how beautiful she is and stuff. So like right away from when we're young, we're taught like power is important and strength is important, and then it gets mixed up that power equals aggression. Like power can mean other things, but for guys, it's usually like brute strength or physical force, right?
It's so easy to confuse for some people because they've never been in the position where we're not trained to do it. And again, it's something that's implicit with being trained to do it is why you're being trained to do it. And people just get it confused. So they mistake somebody that's got like a sort of a
yapper,
a masculine mode of a masculine love language.
Yeah.
Like they run their mouth or something. People are just like, well, they must be able to back that up. And so those people that weren't raised, fighting their brothers or fighting their friends or in a position where they had like
been punched
or like in a where it was like where there was like they didn't play like a full contact sport or something where like aggression was part of it.
I personally feel like sometimes some people need it to be hit, because I'm the kind of guy that the last thing I want to do is get into a physical altercation. I don't like it. I don't want to do it. I'll wait till the very last second before anything has to happen. But I also acknowledge when I see somebody like, this guy needs to get fucking hit once or twice.
Yeah.
Like there's people that just run their mouth, they've got nothing to back it up with. Like the guy clearly hasn't been knocked out before, and he needs it in order to like survive the rest of his life, because it's gonna happen. Might as well do it now.
So you're like the extreme. Someone's gonna, it's self-defense. That's what
for
you're
me.
saying.
Fighting,
Okay.
like physically fighting is, but that's also the same reason I like took classes on how to fight, like boxing and kickboxing and MMA, and that's the same reason why I bought a gun when I was younger, so I learned how to use it. I never want to shoot a gun in my life.
I mean, now we're just getting
Watch your mouth.
Let's get into
These are legal issues.
No, I don't.
But you have a whiskey. You're ready to fight the whole world.
It's not in New York. It's not here in New York. But I bought a gun when I lived in Florida, and because I wanted to learn how to use it. I wanted to know how to use a gun. So I bought a gun. So that's why I was trained to learn how to fight.
Why did you think you needed a gun?
I mean, walking
Because I
around
lived in Florida.
2 buck knives, but I left my gun in Florida.
I have a katana.
Listen, he watched Jason Bourne. He was like, I need to do this right now. Let's go.
I wanted to see what it felt like to take a man's life.
I'm the same way, dude. I've never been a fighter. I was never ever like the energy. It makes me nervous when it's time to maybe do that, with the exception of a handful of times in my life where I've just shut off and stopped caring what happened. And honestly, then I feel pretty powerful. Yeah. I go to being invincible in my own head against my better judgment. But for the most part, I'm fucking vincible. But when somebody, when you see that person that behaving that way, and you're like, somebody's got to knock this person out. Somebody's got to knock this person down. Oh, I might have to knock this person out. I really hope I can knock this person out. And like, that's all. scary because people get hurt. But then if it I don't know, at some point, a couple times in my life, somebody's crossed the line where I'm like, I'll break every fucking bone in my body to hurt you.
Yep.
So you have felt pressure to like, maybe not just self-defense, but to like show show that you're tough and stuff just to fight. Like, has that ever happened? Like when you were a
sure.
kid?
On ice still. Like sometimes.
Yeah, for sure.
Because hockey players is
For sure.
especially people that have
Ice.
issues.
I thought you were saying like you fight on ice.
No, I don't do it. I mean, I have a couple times, but like it's not.
I was gonna say, isn't that part of the sport?
If you got something to play for.
Yeah.
If you're at,
But
if
if
you got
you're-
2 million coming this year.
If you're
In
an
a beer
adult, if you're an
league, it's
adult
not.
in a at a pickup invite skater in a beer league. I mean, but there's
throwing
there are
gloves?
There's
Dude,
so
buddy,
many.
like,
There's
kids are
so
hard.
many guys
No, no,
fighting
no.
like that. Though.
There are
Really?
so
yeah,
many guys
they
out
play
there.
in the league to fight because
they did never
yeah.
play at a level, or they played at I mean, God forbid. The worst person is exactly who like the guy who's like the guys who knew how to fight, like they actually did play for money or for a scholarship or something, and they're in a bar league and they're fighting.
They're just being
They're
bullies.
just morons.
Yeah.
Dude, you know who was such a moron? What's his name? Avery.
Oh, yes, Sean Avery.
That guy came to a pickup skate out. I'm gonna name his name. I don't give a fuck yourself. That guy came out to
But
a
he lives
skate.
in the village. He'll come after you.
Dude, that guy was
What a piece of shit. He is a piece of shit,
He was
though.
a monkey throwing shit at this pickup skate out in L.A. He had a buddy out there. I guess they're both from Toronto. He was out there yelling. He was yelling at this kid on like the Junior Kings who was like wheeling. And I was like, oh, he fucking must have coached this kid. And we get back to the locker room, and I'm like sitting next to that kid. I was like, so he used to coach? He was like, I don't know that fucking guy.
Wow.
He's like a 16-year-old kid. He's just yelling at me. It was like a fucking 4-on-4 on the small rink.
Yeah, that guy's insane though. That guy's
It's a
complete
mental illness. It's like,
Yeah, he's
if he
mentally
didn't have
insane.
hockey, he'd be fucking.
He'd be
stabbing people for meth in the mountains somewhere.
He'd be mounting bodies in a shed.
No
in
hockey.
Wisconsin somewhere.
he'd be
Thank
Sean-
God for hockey. Or
Sean
that guy
Avery,
would
the
be
Wisconsin killer.
yeah, he would be another. Yeah, he'd be
what's
on
it-
the
No,
list.
that's a Canadian. That's a Toronto boy.
It's a
That's
Toronto-
a Canadian. That's a fucking.
Who knows? He could have lived in Wisconsin.
So what's
after.
an instance though where you said that
He
you
picked it up. You think it's an acquired? It's a language.
Hey, if I'm gonna be good at this, I gotta go where they're really great. You know, I gotta go to
it's
Wisconsin
wild.
and
I
figure
mean,
it out.
Guys all over the world just travel to Wisconsin to be a serial killer. It's like going to New York for comedy. It's like I gotta get on the biggest stage here. What are we doing here? You know,
That's where the greats are. You gotta follow the
I
greats.
gotta follow Gacy. I gotta follow Gacy any night of the week. You know.
Just
Yeah.
a dark van full of wannabe serial killers watching one happen. They're just like this. How do I follow this?
It is. You guys, great news. I just got passed in South Milwaukee. No, it's cool. I've been keeping kidneys in my cabinet.
This guy told me to send in my tongues. See if they're good.
I took a picture of some genitals in a jar, and man, they loved it. It hit. I got it.
Meanwhile, the rest of us are being back here, being like, this guy doesn't know how to fucking open up a heart while it's still
This
beating.
guy-
He got passed.
You know how many ears I have? I have so many fucking ears.
He's
Ridiculous.
got all these bones and he hasn't made a chair out of it. What the hell's going on with this guy? Unbelievable.
What's he supposed
So what's though? You said that there's a part where like you've been to the point where I will break every bone in my body in order to hurt this person.
I mean, just
What
a
is
couple
that,
times.
What is that thing? Because I feel like every man at least has that. Because I'll do everything I can to not fight.
Somebody.
But it's there's an instance where it's like this is it. What it's,
One
you
time,
seem to kind of talk about
somebody this was like when I was like probably late 20s. One guy stuck his knee out,
On the ice. This is which is
that's
a dirty
like a
move.
dirty. That's
Yeah.
a dirty play. Knee to knee, like if because you could fucking
Yeah.
you can bend somebody up, and like I just like snapped and whatever, and I don't know, I was usually alcohol's involved. I got in a fight on Christmas one year. This guy was harassing. I was like, just actual Christmas
Day.
Christmas Day. Yes.
The Lord's birthday.
I had
He
been.
didn't
I
get his
had.
Tonka chunk. The guy was mad.
I was 8 years old.
Something
I
was
asked
going
for
on.
brand name GAC, and I didn't get it.
I was out with I was back home and I was out with a bunch of people, and I don't know. I guess we get outside the bar and all of a sudden I just heard my my just a longtime friend, and she's just like, I don't know you, and I was like, well, that's never a good thing. And you turn around and some guy who's just like trying to holler, and it's just like, no big deal, fine, cool, she's with me, bye. And then he started like following us and like being kind of and like chirping me a little bit, and I was just like, it's fucking Christmas, guy. Like, what are you doing right now? And then he followed us like a block, and I was like, this absolutely not. I mean, it was just like too much that somebody would behave like that. So he came, he started it. And so he was like,
Did you end it?
yes.
Yeah.
but
you gave him a Christmas wreath. He'll never forget.
But I broke my right ring finger on his. I mean, I split that in half. I had to get pins put in my hand. I dislocated this, and I exploded my hand.
You dropped him like third period French though.
I hit him. He was like out on his feet, and then like it was like the easiest takedown ever. I like had to did one of these.
You pirouetted into
Yeah, it was.
Because you're a nice guy.
No, I didn't help him down. But I like
You didn't
I wanted to like hit him. I kept hitting him with my good hand, and then my friend Aaron was like, "Nathan, it's Christmas." I'm like,
I know.
Shit, you're not doing.
I thought that's why you put him down. Mother Mary and Jesus. There it is.
And like people from the bar are like, Jesus Christ, I think I went to kindergarten with that guy.
Who you or the guy?
Me. And
I didn't
know who
lost it, but
I think it might have been. I was like early 30s when that happened. I was not a proud moment, but it was like the kind of thing where it was like, is this? I just stopped, and that's why. And then you get to that moment, and then it's just like I'm swinging.
I think that's
hard as I
reasonable though. Like if you're defending, that's a legit defense, not what fucking shitbag said because he made a joke about his wife and I'm protecting my family. You're not protecting anything. You just can't take a joke.
You're protecting your ego.
Yeah, but you legitimately are defending. You don't know what's gonna happen. You don't know who this.
He swung at me.
Well,
he
there
hit
you
me in
go.
the face.
Well, yeah, there you go.
And that's
for sure.
But that's where I think the difference is when it's like, oh, you should never fight. Violence is never the answer. Yeah, it is.
Sometimes it's the
Sometimes
answer.
it has to be because you're dealing with the one thing in that Harvard article that was made it clear was like the difference between men and women is the testosterone. 10 to 20 times more testosterone in men and women. So biologically, it's like you weren't in control at that moment of that bit of rage. Because you got pushed to your limit. It's happened to all of us. And you can push your limit, and that's what happens. And that's like that moment, I think, is the difference between a man and a woman.
I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you.
You ever get punched though in the face because you were the one running your mouth, and then you were like, I deserved it, and it's a lesson moving forward. Happened to me. I've been clobbered.
I think that time I probably said something at the end.
No, that doesn't count. That doesn't count.
No, he was foul. Yeah, I mean, that was all on him. So I mean, I guess
was he Jewish and Happy Hanukkah?
No, he was nope.
Nope.
Because it was Christmas, did you say afterwards? You say AC said 10%. just doing Home Alone quotes at him.
He wouldn't have remembered it if I said it to him.
There's a guy in there with a gun, Marv.
I've never been. I don't usually. That's not true. I've had a knife pulled on me.
Yeah. Well, this is again self-defense. Like this is.
I was wrong. Well, I was wrong.
But it wasn't like a cheerleader like woman. Like it wasn't. It was a dude being aggressive.
I never said anything that deserved a knife being pulled on me.
No.
But it was him. It was another guy filled with testosterone that pulled a knife on you. I'm assuming. Yeah.
Yep. God, I'm amazed I haven't ever been cold cocked.
Was it a manager of a Ralph's grocery store? You forgot to swipe. You didn't scan.
You didn't scan the mayonnaise. There it is.
You better be fucking Ralph himself. Pulling knives on people. Nope, just Tony. Ralph doesn't give a fuck about you.
Was this a night manager? Get over here, pal. We're gonna walk out here with this mayonnaise, and you're gonna be
Tony,
okay with it.
Take these eggs. You're with me now.
This like alpha mentality that we have now in this world. It's
fake tough guy shit everywhere.
But when you think of alpha shit, what do you think of? Like I think of like these like unfortunately like I don't want to say not Joe Rogan himself, but people that listen to him and like they do MMA or they like MMA and stuff like that, and it's just all about at the end of the day I could smack you in the face so I'm better than you. Like that's what I feel like a lot of these alpha dudes think what alpha is.
It's a lot of bluffing.
You think it's bluffing? You think a
It's
lot
a
of it is
culture built around bluffing.
okay?
Because if Joe
I agree
Rogan
with you,
if Joe
though.
Rogan only sold supplements to actual alpha males, he'd be sitting here with us. It's an entire culture built on fake tough guys.
You're right.
Trying to make people think that they're tough. You don't live that life. You ain't about that life. If you were, I'm guessing you'd have some experience or career in it. I got a guy that I play hockey with. He's got like 15, 20 professional fights under his belt. Nicest guy.
Yeah, they're
that I
always
know.
the nicest
It's always
guys.
Nicest guy that I know.
Most alphas
Yeah.
that like that are they don't want to fight. The last thing because they know they can hurt you. Like those guys are cool because they're like, yeah, I don't want to fight at all. Like whatever, guy, you're tougher than me.
Why do you think
they
I've never
know-
thrown hands with you, Scopo?
I know, buddy. I know. Don't worry about it. Right?
Heart rate still dead.
A diver.
3 beats a minute. One for him, one for the girl you came with, and the third for her after she leaves with him. Just so you know. Enjoy the succulents.
Well, that's been a great episode, everybody.
You never been punched in the fucking head before?
No, I have.
Oh, yeah, no, but
yeah,
like,
yeah.
were you talking shit and then it made you realize that maybe,
Last time I got punched in the head, I was on Molly, so it felt good.
yeah,
Tell us that story.
You weren't asking for it, you were begging for
I
it.
took a nice Molly, and some guy made fun of my hair. I never forget he made fun of my hair. He was like, "Nice hair, or something like that." I actually won that fight. I didn't throw a punch. I threw him into a car.
you seagulled him.
I seagulled him into a car, and like it dented the car pretty hard. And then I threw him into a wall, and then I put my knee on his head.
So you
And then I
ragdolled him?
Yeah.
You won a fight without throwing a punch?
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
unbelievable.
kind.
You're on Molly.
I want to.
He's throwing bombs.
The reason why I got into the fight, I was
You got
on
the
Molly.
spidey senses. He's got the spidey senses.
Hey.
Holy hell! Look
I've
at
been
me.
waiting for you my whole life.
Let me tell you something.
Were you
Conor
still
McGregor
on
takes a
beat?
little Molly before his next fight because I felt really good before and after.
Scopo thinks that's what happened, but I have video. Him and that guy, he was just licking his face. He was like, oh, man.
No, I was begging him to touch my dick. I was like, come on, let's go. Rub it up a little bit, bud. It
Help me
feels
dent
good
this
here.
car real quick.
Yeah. It was
So
right-
he was
it
again the aggressor.
He was the aggressor, yeah. He
I
was-
don't like the way this podcast is going because I'm going to tell you guys a story about how I've been punched twice for talking shit, and no one else here has talked shit. Everyone was just minding their own business.
No, I've talked shit. I talk
Oh,
shit.
there you go.
I talk shit in Italy. Because, I was American dominating that country. And I was just there. And we got into a pretty... Well, my buddy was getting, pushed to a wall by a couple of Italians. Italians, they're not fighters.
The real Italians are a bit
weighty.
Depends where you go. Depends where you go. Were you in
It
Naples?
was Rome. Roma.
Well, you're
I
in the
didn't forget-
center. If you're in the south, you're gonna get fucked up. You're gonna get smacked in the face by a couple of Napolitan. But you're in Rome.
Yeah,
a
it
little
was
more
in Roma.
civil. So take it easy.
It was 10-on-3, and I didn't forget. I got hit in the face, and then I hit the guy back, and then he stopped fighting. And I was like, bro, what are you... This is a fight. You hit back now. Keep it going. And then they just stopped fighting. And we didn't win that fight, but we didn't lose.
He's a dance move.
He actually he brought me to his family. I had gnocchi together. No, but I got
He
arrested.
couldn't
there.
ruin his knuckles. That's what he makes it a
Song
pizza
is
on.
song is over. Now espresso.
pretty good Italian accent right there, Nick. That was good. That was
You
good.
hear that, Netflix? He does accents.
Okay, so you got another TV show.
So how did you talk
I just talked shit a couple times and I was punched twice. I remember I talked shit. It was grade 4. It was outside. It was in the snow. I remember that because he punched me with a mitten and I had a fuzz on my lips. I remember I got punched and it was during recess and there was 4 kids watching and they went, oh, and I just remember the steam coming out of their mouth. So I was like, fuck, I got to go this kid. And I swept them and then I punched him and stuff. So we got into a fight. I think I
Swept
beat
the
him.
leg, Johnny?
I swept the leg. I thought I beat him. I think I beat him. Nice kid. I feel bad. It was my fault. Looking back, I was the bully in the
You got a
situation.
yapper on you.
I do have a yapper on me. And then we were like the last kids to go in the class and we had snowsuits on. You had snowsuits, right? In Wisconsin. But you couldn't. You need someone that had to help you because we were the last 2. We were in there, so we had to unzip, like after the
other?
battle, he unzipped me, I unzipped him. We sort of faced each other. The
Was
whole
it in
class,
slow-mo the whole
yeah,
time?
like the whole class knew we fought, but our teacher was like, well, that was awkward. Yeah. I unzipped him, and then we just sat back down. I still had fuzz on my lip from his.
It's like you guys.
That was my first fight.
You guys put on those sumo suits. You guys put on the sumo suits, and we're like, okay, never again. Don't pull that shit again.
Yeah, but it was definitely. But it made me stop. It made me stop talking a little bit of shit. So now everybody that says, "Oh, violence is never. You should never do it." It's like, it sort of helped me sometimes. Like I've pumped the brakes on my shit talking and being arrogant because I know.
No, you haven't.
To you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's because he thinks he can beat your ass.
And I have once. So I already got a little confidence going in.
I wanted the third one. You pussed out.
Buddy, let me tell you something. Undefeated in trilogies. This guy right here. Okay? Never been in one, but I can tell you right now, I'm scouting. I'm scouting. I know what to do. And a lot of it is getting you drunk.
Goddamn.
Not Molly.
Canadian Matrix over here.
I ain't giving this guy Molly.
Hey, maybe tone it down unless you start seeing green numbers.
No, I think some people. I think it's good in your life to get clobbered one time, to get that punch in the nose, have that pain run through your head, just so you know. You got to. It's a good experience.
Yeah, I was okay. So here, I was running my mouth.
There you go.
7th grade,
See?
and this kid gave me a face wash.
Okay.
Like I couldn't stop him. He or whatever. We went down and he got on top of me and he was fucking giving me a face wash.
That is
it crushed me. I
that
got
is
up.
yeah.
I got up. I hit him in the mouth, and I still felt mortified. Like even though I
beat him,
I hit him in the face. I still was like it.
The face wash is a demeaning thing.
That is you are just getting stepped on.
They call that the Neutrogena where I'm from.
You know what's funny? That you never had an older brother to pick on you. Like I kind of know what it feels to get my ass kicked. My brother literally just beat the shit out of me. He's 5 years older than me, so he just beat the shit out of me all the time. Like one time he literally ripped my underwear off, the elastic on your underwear. While I was on, it ripped it off, tied my legs up, took a yo-yo string, tied my hands up, put a wool hat over me, and left me there for about an hour.
Wow.
I was like 10. My mom wasn't
Where was
home.
your underwear?
Still on me. He took the elastic and ripped it off as I was wearing it, and then just left me there. And my mom was out for the night, whatever. He was watching me, and then
dinner and a movie with Ralph.
Yeah.
Comes home, son's bare ass with his elastic wrapped around his head.
He made sure to fucking untie me before they came home. So he had that. I didn't do that. What are you talking about? I never beat Chris up or something like that. Yeah.
He's just staring out the window for the car lights. He's like, and snip, snip, snip,
yeah. Dude, he took me, my hands behind my back, and then he put a wool hat over my head. So I'm just sitting there like a 10-year-old, like, what the fuck, Mom? Help me, Mom.
Oh, buddy.
Yeah,
Man, this really explains, this one instance in your life explains a lot about who you are.
I just knew not to fuck with people that are bigger than me because he did it to me. Like, you never had that.
No, I didn't.
You never got, yeah. When you were playing with your brother at a young age, you get, like, once in a while, he isn't mean to hit you, but he fucking knocks you a couple times, and you're like, oh, that hurts. I don't want to do that again. So you know if he's doing it, like, someone else who's bigger than me probably
doesn't care.
Yeah.
Do you have any siblings?
I got a younger sister, so I mean,
you used to beat the shit out of her.
Tall
girl, big hands.
I was too much. She got at a certain point. I was like, I'm not fucking with that chick. Like, like my sister, I would not fuck with my sister. If were I you, anybody out there, like she had nails and shit. And by the time she got to got through puberty, I was like, this is
goddamn Catwoman out here.
Yeah, that's a Wolverine right there. Like I want no part of that.
Rabid Wolverine.
Yeah, no, but that's interesting, man, because I think that gives you a sense of like just what another human being can do.
Yeah, I always felt as a kid overpowered.
Spatial awareness, but for aggression, I guess.
Even like games, like we'd play basketball in the backyard. I never won ever. Like baseball, I was better than him. Now, like I'm better than him, but like never won. Like he always would beat me. He's always 5 years older than me, so it's such a huge dynamic of like size wise, where he's always more powerful, always this and that. So I was like always knew like, oh, I better watch it.
What about right now?
I'd fucking murder that kid. I would take him outside to the woodshed and leave him there for good. And trust me, I want to. I want to real bad.
Rip his underwear off, throw a bag over his head.
You know what's so funny? I had a wedding.
Go to dinner.
No, I know for sure Joe remembers what he did to you, and he's gone commando ever since.
No.
Because he don't want those underwears over his head. Wrap them
About
up.
7, 8 years ago, we had a Christmas, and he said something to fucking piss me off. He can get under my skin real bad, and he did. And I was like 23, 24, so I was pretty big. I literally punched a hole through the door and opened it, tried to go after him. And my uncle was there, and he fucking stopped me. My uncle's a big guy. They 6'3", 6'2", and I was like, that was he said though. Like, we talked like a couple days later. He goes, I was scared of you at that moment. I was like, yeah, you should have been. I was gonna murder you. I was gonna kill you in a fight. And it was funny. I was at a wedding recently, and I have 3 cousins, and 2 of them were beating the shit out of the little one. I just go up to the 2 big ones. I go, hey, Richie and my brother did that to me when I was your age. Now I can beat the shit out of both of them, so I wouldn't do that to him. And they both just stopped. I was like, yeah, watch out, because they'll beat the shit out of you one day.
Nice.
That's nice. That's actually nice.
That's a good lesson. That's a good lesson about
Go get me a
violence.
Heineken 00.
That's we definitely used to fuck with my best friend growing up. His little brother. We put underwear on his head.
Fresh
I never
or
got to
used?
experience beating the
Used
shit out of
underwear.
a kid, man.
Used
I never
underwear.
experienced
You
that in my
can now,
life.
Scopo. What's stopping
No,
you?
I go to jail. That's what it
Only
really.
if you get caught.
Yeah, I mean, I was always the one that was picked on. I was the youngest, so I was always picked on. Always the little one in the family.
Damn.
It sucks, man.
See, I've always been the big guy, so if I've ever been
Yeah,
in
how
any
is
type
that?
of conflict or fight, it's you that I would be blamed for, because they're like, "What are you doing picking on these little kids?"
Yeah,
Like,
never got in trouble. That was one thing.
I remember in elementary school there was a
Yeah, real quick. What are your dimensions? I'm serious. What are your dimensions?
6'5", 300 pounds, and
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah.
big?
Yeah. Yeah. You get. Yeah. You're.
38, 34
Yeah. You're.
pant.
I definitely, I'll admit this. Anytime I'm out with Mike and I've had a couple drinks, and if you're there, definitely way more brave and courageous. Because and when you're not there, I'm taking it easy. Maybe just 2 Merlots for the kid.
I have a lot of friends that if I'm around, they've gotten me into fights and conflicts, because they'll just like say some shit and they'll literally just like slink behind me, like, oh, let's see
Dude,
what happens
that's
now.
the worst.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm not your size, but I've dealt with it a couple times.
anyone
where
who's
it's just
the
like,
biggest,
would you
bigger one of the group.
Shut the fuck
Yeah.
up,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
Like, this is like, oh, what? This guy fucking da-da-da-da-da-da. Well, there's 5 of them and 2 of us, and I'm gonna tell you where 8 of those fists are going first.
I'll say this too. The worst
By the way, there's 3 guns on me right now while you're telling me what just happened to you.
So explain it. 1 second, fellas.
Hold on,
Explain
guys.
to me
Can
what
you
just
just wait
happened.
until I fucking am expected to turn into Tasmanian devil until my friend starts crying about how you took his fucking trophies away? Tell me one more time. How were you impacted by this?
But I think though that like so I've been in situations where, because I don't like to fight, but I'll like start shit knowing that it won't end in a fight. Type of thing. So I'll get like super aggressive. Like, so it happened to me maybe 2 months ago. And this is an interesting concept of like,
There was a mailbox on 47th Street.
maybe talking, maybe talking it out is better than the physical. So I was up in upstate New York, and my girlfriend's like college reunion, and I went along, and I was hammered in the streets, and these 2 young kids were calling another kid a bad word. They're calling him the F word, screaming it at him. And this kid's defenseless. Like, and it's like, it's 2022. What are we doing, people? And I'm sitting on the curb, like 5 feet from them as it's happening. I'm like, all right, I'm drunk enough. And I just stood up next to him. I said, you want to call me that? And I just went for probably 40 minutes, I'm screaming at these kids because I know they're never going to do anything. But then my girlfriend shows up and she like talks it out with them, and they almost started like tearing up because they felt so bad. They were like, "No, it's okay. We have a gay friend." I'm like,
Good. Yeah,
that doesn't make sense.
That does, yeah.
But like, if I would have just said something to them rather than like literally in their face screaming at them, tell them like, "Go ahead, fucking punch me. Go ahead, do what you're gonna do to him. Do it to me." And
Have you ever fought, like, has like a girl ever started a fight and then you gotta like go and fight after? That's like the worst.
Never with me, no.
I've had a lot of lesbian friends, and they like to run their yaps, and then when things come to situations, and they like back away. We're like, well, we didn't fucking want to start this shit.
Yeah.
It's the worst. I have 2 friends that got arrested in college because of that.
it's interesting that you say lesbians would do that, because you see typically that it's a testosterone that separates the two, but do they I wonder what that is. I wonder
You call
why.
lesbians men?
No, I'm saying that they
you're-
don't have the
You're getting
testosterone.
yourself
Back
into
away
a
from this one.
sticky
No, they
They
situation
don't
right
have
here,
the
Mikey. I don't know
testosterone. So
what
I
the hell
wonder
you're
if it's
talking
like
about.
I wonder if it's like a sexual thing. I wonder if it's like
Sexual.
no, like if you're attracted to women.
Oh, God.
It
I mean,
gives
they
you
did take
some.
our girlfriends afterwards, so I don't know. Maybe.
That's what I'm saying. I wonder if there's something about like the attraction towards females is what creates aggression. Because
No,
you're like fighting for. Oh, fuck off! You're not doing anything to try to figure this out.
No, I hear you 100%. I
Maybe
mean,
I was young.
I think it's funny though.
I think it's probably falls into like perceived masculinity.
Yeah.
Like it's observed.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, sorry, but
No, it's what it is.
you know, if it's not coursing through your veins, then you kind of see what, you know, what resonates. And some people are drawn to it because just that loud aggression. That's all it takes for some people to be silenced.
Yeah.
You know, if they don't know how to handle themselves or if they're not the kind of person that loves it. You know, if you're a loud lying pussy, you can run your mouth and back a whole bar down. I saw one guy run into a party one time yelling. It was the neighbor, and everybody was kind of confused. It was like, who's this guy yelling at this chick? And there was a bunch of dudes at the party, and everybody's kind of confused. It was like, is this her boyfriend? No, it's her neighbor. He says we're too loud. Too loud. There's a whole block of noise.
Yeah.
And it was just like everybody was like kind of stunned, and then people started stepping in between. Whereas like he was at the level where somebody could have sucker punched him to like take him out of the equation. Sure. Like, you know, like make this behavior stop. What's the fastest way A to B? Path of least resistance. It's fucking his jaw.
My fist, his jaw.
Yeah, his jaw. Like
His jaw on
and
the floor.
there was lots of dudes that, like, he got very lucky, but like sometimes either that guy likes it. He likes, like we were talking about, he likes being not the heel, or just like he just doesn't. Aggression is like his brain is limited.
I also think that person though comes from getting beat up a lot as a kid, and they're not scared of it. They know what happens when they break a nose, their jaw gets broken, that they've been picked on, beat up, whatever.
Yeah.
And so those people usually end up being the
Right.
loud aggressors. It's like, oh, go ahead, hit me. I don't give a shit.
They're comfortable with
they actually
it,
don't care.
and also socially stunted at the same time.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, they probably go hand in hand.
like the bagel boss
possibly.
guy. Remember the bagel
Yeah.
boss guy
Oh,
from
yeah.
back in the
Right.
day?
Legend,
But
that
he's
guy.
like, go ahead and hit
You
me, because
kidding
that
me?
guy gets beat up all
Yes,
the
he
time,
got
so he
beat
doesn't
up all
care.
the
He'll go in and
time.
talk shit. It's like, go ahead, hit me.
Bagel boss.
Bagel boss.
Yeah.
Remember that guy?
That's
that guy was a hot
exactly
15
it,
seconds.
I like that we were thinking about we could talk about the Will Smith slap here, and we're like, remember 10 years ago, Bagel Boss?
What was
Topical,
wait,
boys.
wait.
Topical.
What was Bagel Boss's?
He wasn't getting his food in time or something
Wasn't
like
getting
that.
his food in
or, like,
time, but then it
cut him.
went somewhere else.
They cut him or something like that, and then he kept yelling.
Short.
He kept yelling at the staff, and he was like being rude to the staff.
And then people started
some guy
filming
came
it.
in, was like, "Shut the fuck up! Don't do that to the staff."
And then it
escalated.
and then it
to,
was like
"You-
online dating
You're not
and
my
like
wife or my god.
Online
Women,
dating
God.
is where it went.
Women are not disrespect him. That's why he's snapping.
That's why
when
he's
he's ordering a
snapping.
poppy
Yeah,
seed
yeah,
bagel.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
So
yeah.
little
He
guy
lost
who
his
got
mind.
beat up a lot as a kid, doesn't get laid. He's going to scream at a bagel shop. That's the equation. That's the formula for
If he's
Bagel
not
Boss.
afraid of getting beat up, it's the closest thing he's got to getting laid.
Yep. Yeah. The adrenaline is
Right.
what. Yeah, that's interesting.
The juice, and then he knew he impacted the world around him.
Look at us. Here we
And
are.
some people don't. I mean, that's a wild dynamic for someone to possess inside them.
Yeah.
Those that get confluence of circumstances where they don't give a fuck about their own personal safety.
See, yeah, that's the craziest part.
They're completely inept in getting a reaction in any other way that juices them up, and so it's disorienting. You see somebody that acts like that, and and if you don't have that juice, if you're not used to aggression, if you don't experience or have interact with aggression in some way, whether it's competitive athletics or fighting on a regular basis, or having older brothers who used to whoop the shit out of you, you'll mistake it for actual masculinity.
That's true. That's
You will be sucked into that, and I think that's what a lot of Trump's base, like they think that's poor. Trump is
They make him feel that way.
Trump is how poor people think a rich man would act. Also, his toughness is how weak people think a strong man would
Right,
act.
exactly.
That exact same dynamic.
How do you fix that then? Like, how do
Hold
you?
on for a second. Let's just.
Yeah.
That was a really
Yes.
astute point that you
Oh,
just
no,
made.
That's just a statement. That's a,
No,
that's
that
a
was
saying.
no.
I just translated a saying
That's
to
a
another.
Nate Craig statement. He's
No,
sticking
no,
to
no.
it,
That's a
right?
great point. That's a
No,
great
it's a
point.
great
I
point.
mean, that's what I think. That's what I think. I mean, that's just what I see. Like, I just see like a lot of people who just like
When are you taking over
Like-
the Daily Show?
never. I mean, tomorrow. I'm sure. Yeah, have them call me. That's what the people who took Will Smith's side.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's just standing up for his family. If that really what you think is standing up for a family? Well, then I'm sorry to inform you, you're worthless to your family, and nobody's ever stood up for you
Yeah.
because that ain't what it is.
No.
Or you're a member of a trash bag family that's out there beating people up for no reason. Like that ain't tough. That ain't defense, and that's clearly something's wrong with that.
Yeah, I don't know anybody personally who took his side. The only people I saw were people on the internet, but God knows if
No,
those
you
people
know
are
what?
even
And
real.
I shouldn't bait into that because I think that's another one of those things where it's just that's like ripe for trolls.
That's another thing. Like,
That's an obvious like.
But there was
I'm
also-
on Will's hashtag Will team Will. You know, that's an obvious troll.
yeah,
but
they
I
have
think
nothing
people-
going on.
Right,
they just
right.
want to
I think
start it going on.
immediately the reaction people had was if they stuck up for Will was, oh, this is going to be the right side. So I need to take this because obviously Chris was making fun of his wife, so he stood up for her, therefore I'm on his side. Yeah. So and then didn't really think about the dynamic in that. And there were so many like big magazine publications. One of them tweeted, learn about alopecia. That's the whole tweet. And I was like, what the fuck are we? It's alopecia is baldness.
70% of men suffer from alopecia.
These two
no
guys
one says anything.
have alopecia.
Real quick,
got
guys,
it.
Not anymore. I fixed it.
you're sitting next to an alopecia survivor.
I'm sorry to have to bring this up. Are you feeling
Yeah.
okay?
I just think that it flew right into so many, different wheelhouses of like internet outrage.
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah.
confusion.
Exactly.
Really, just confusion. Like shit to people. Like, what? It's a thing that? Oh, well, okay. Well, here on the internet, we protect people. This is, I'm a safe space.
Well, you give-
advocate.
I can't believe also like people thought that Chris Rock knew she had alopecia. Like Chris Rock's a working guy. Like he's not sitting watching the red
Yeah,
cable
yeah.
thinking, oh, well, she has alopecia. Let's make fun of that. It's like,
Right,
who
like-
the-
Yeah, but
Also-
alopecia is just a fun way of saying you're balding.
Also, a bald head in an evening gown is like a legit look, and it has been since what?
Yeah.
Grace
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Jones. Like, what are we talking
The
about?
joke was not an issue at all. It
Not at
was
all.
just like, how did it come to that? And can it happen to any one of us? Like, I feel like I could snap at any time. I feel like I could do that.
Here's what it was, because it was such a moronic thing for Will Smith to do. He had his speech written. That whole thing about Serena and Venus's dad, Richard Williams, is that his name?
Yeah.
King Richard's
Yeah,
movie.
yeah.
He had that whole. He was a fierce protector of his family.
It was like
I
pre-planned.
bet
yeah,
you that was written.
probably
Because otherwise, how do you, even all the way up to there, you're Will Smith. What are you doing? Sucker punching. By the way, clearly Chris Rock has taken dozens
Yes.
of blows to the mouth.
Yeah, he didn't leave his mark.
He barely stopped reading the prompter.
No,
Yeah,
he was doing that for sure.
And
And
he's
the
getting up there-
nominees for best.
Right, yeah. Real. Let's talk about documentary movies.
That's when I knew it was real. Like, because immediately I was like, "Oh, this is a fun stunt." But he was like, he did stumble a little bit. And he's like,
Yeah.
"All right, just documentaries," and he went to it. I was like, "Oh, I think he just got hit."
Yeah, you got hit.
I was like, "Wow."
He
that's
looked at
pretty
the
wild.
producer. He looked to see if they were going to go to commercial.
yeah.
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 Anyway, we don't need to keep talking about this punch, but it's the fact that, bots aside, internet, trash, argument, traffic, phenomena aside, some people took Will Smith's side.
I
Yes,
think now
for
though,
sure.
That's wild.
I
It
think
is
now,
crazy.
though, everyone has.
No. There are people that still.
He got a fucking
feel
standing
sure.
ovation. He deserved silence.
But I
Yeah,
think
he
a lot of
definitely did.
people, They were saying that people were in the arena Googling, did Will Smith just slap? Because people there didn't know what happened.
yeah,
Like, it was
yeah.
like, what?
Yeah.
That makes sense, though. I would
Yeah,
have probably
but I think
been in
now
the same boat.
the majority of people, it seems like everyone has gotten it right. There's obviously the outliers, but everyone's like, yeah, you shouldn't have hit Chris Rock. I feel like the majority of people are like, can agree.
It's only harmful.
Yeah.
It's not, you're not protecting anyone.
No.
If you want us to believe that, we have to assume that movie star millionaire Jada Pinkett Smith is a full-blown walking around there's millions of children watching. You're an icon. It's dirt fucking stupid. So when I'm reading that article that was spun off about it, which is
The Harvard article.
The
yeah.
Harvard article.
the Harvard
yeah.
article, which if you post a link or whatever,
We'll put a
it's
link
an
in the
interview
description.
with someone that I think
Psychologist.
teaches child psychology at Harvard.
Yeah.
And she's talking about how boys are socialized to embrace or resort to violence to solve their problems, and how effective it is or how ineffective it is and whatever. This did nothing good.
No.
This did nothing good. And I even would argue it, because she goes to say, like, as a culture, I think we're handling it better in some instances. She says, then you look at things happening around the world, and I think that's clearly like a reference to the Ukraine,
Of course.
where like you have a rich psycho who's sending off hundreds of thousands
Yeah.
of soldiers to die for nothing, and that's as violent as people have ever been.
Well, yeah, I was saying that. I was saying that to Mike before we started. Was like, it's a little. We live in a sort of a hypocritical society where people are on the internet like violence is never ever should be an option, but then also there's so much money being pumped into these nations' military, which is the most violent thing you can do is pump up your infrastructure to just be like, we could kill you at any time with our
and so much of our way of life has been built on like violence and
Exactly.
and complete segments of society and cultures being.
It's hard to like say like, oh, don't hit your kids or to discipline them. That's bad. This is cavemen. And then all of a sudden there's like a army commercial, like join this, and a guy's coming down on a chopper. It's like, is it violence when one guy slaps one guy? But what is it when it's a full war? Is that
how are we not confused when there's the commercial with the guy like, they got the battle scenes. He's just like, and his mom's following him. It's like, Mom, I just think I need to do something, be a part of something. And she's just like, but really this? And then they cut to like them like folding laundry, and she's like, well, if it'll make you feel good, it's just like, and it's just like,
or even worse,
it's crazy
they
though.
go to your high school. They go to high school kids and they try to recruit you to go into the war machine.
But they
it's ingrained in you to be violent as a man. That violence is an option from the day you're born.
because it's nationalism that they're pumping into you or defense, but it's violence.
I was sitting at a Dunkin' Donuts one time, and some army guy came up to me. He's like, "Do you ever think about going to war?" I'm like, "No, never in my life I would do that." He said, "Do you want to defend your country?" I was like, "Not that bad." And I was like, "He's like,
I'll
okay."
fight for the Mets.
He goes, "Here's my car anyway." Yeah, I'll fucking kill for the Mets. You die in 2 seconds. I'll go to war for Grom's shoulder right now.
World War Mets.
All right, let's move into some of these questions. We're starting to do these questions to try to figure out get a little bit more vulnerable out of us. So you're going to be our first
guinea pig,
first person to answer
emotional
these questions.
guinea pig.
Our emotional G pig.
Hit me.
And some of these may hit, some of these may not. Feel free to skip if you want. Feel free to jump in if you got a better one.
You're on your own, buddy.
Can I borrow money? No. What is one thing that you regret in your life? What's your biggest regret?
Whoa.
Susie Sideburns, 7th grade, Sideburns. I had a name in my head.
I didn't know this was coming, Nate. I had no idea. This is a new thing Mikey's doing here.
So dumb.
It's a new thing we're doing.
It's so dumb. It kind of has to do with like why I started. I started playing hockey because I didn't grow up with that. I wasn't into sports necessarily until it was just like, oh, I'm into sports. And then I quit playing the trumpet. I was really good at the trumpet, and I didn't think that was cool. So I quit, and then I was pretty good at it.
Really?
So every time I hear the trumpet, I love it and I listen to it, but I also get nostalgic, and I regret not playing an instrument anymore. That was like, I guess that's the first one that pops into my head.
Dude, there's gonna
That's so
gonna be a
cool.
Lifetime movie about that. Like a guy playing basketball, and then he just puts the ball down, and then he's in the band.
He's the marching band leader, and a trumpet.
Is that why you
That's
quit playing?
crazy,
Was
man.
because you went into
That's
hockey?
crazy.
I thought it wasn't cool.
Yeah.
That's why I quit
so
playing.
It's not. I mean,
fucking
like
cool.
we're told it's not.
Right,
We're told
like-
our whole life
Yeah,
told
it's
Dude, the
sports
kids
are
that were in
cooler.
band in my school
Band,
were all
yeah.
fucking nerds. And then I realized later that they were just
They
they were
love.
just cool kids.
Band.
Actually, they just play the
Yeah.
guitar.
Well, now all of them are at the Grammys.
Yeah, it's true.
Seriously.
That's great. That's that sucks though. That's sad because there's things that are perceived as cool, and then there's things that aren't as cool.
Well, you know,
So-
but I mean, but then
but
if I
they-
would have kept playing the trumpet, I wouldn't be making music at comedy clubs all across America.
Well, do you play any instruments now? Have you re-picked up anything? Like
I
even like
don't.
for
His
fun?
closer is a
don't.
recorder.
Got Emo Phillips in the house.
Yeah, and my closer is a fake rap song about the Oscars.
Would you ever? Have you ever thought about trying to pick it up? Like during
I've
the
tried to.
pandemic or anything like that, or-
I have it on my trumpet at my house. So I've tried to play it a couple times. Like my neighbor plays it, so I've like gone out and done scales and stuff. And I've tried to play the guitar and stuff.
Sure.
As you know, because every comedian just can't play the guitar. But no, I haven't really. Nothing too good where I would go out and I could go out and do it functionally.
That's it. That was a great answer. Are you still mad about these questions?
No, you know what? I'm starting to turn on this segment. I like it a lot, actually.
What's something from your childhood that you remember and still use in your life today? Like, what's a lesson you learned as a kid that stuck with you through today? Anything like, say, pre like 19 or 18.
I don't know. That's a lot of. I mean, a lot of. I always say I had better parents than my parents did. So I guess a lot of the stuff. A lot of stuff my dad taught. I mean, we always had to volunteer. Like we always would.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
That's
So
sweet.
Yeah.
That's really nice.
That's
Yeah.
something I
wish
wish
my
that I
parents
would have
did that.
done more of is volunteering, and I still today I think about wanting to volunteer more, but
Do you?
no, I have, but not as much as I'd like.
Yeah.
I've done it a little bit.
We
Yeah,
should all go. We should all go to.
Why love for being there?
I mean, you don't have to go, but then you're gonna look like a prick.
I don't want to volunteer.
Okay, that's fine.
I volunteer my life every day. I wake up and go, you're going to be okay today. That's what I say to my face every day. I'm lying straight to my face. Okay, that's my
I
volunteer.
don't think you know what volunteering means.
Give yourself a little
It's my
participation trophy after
Every day I go,
Yeah.
you're going to be something one day, kid.
I think Scopo thinks that the word volunteer is the same thing as self-esteem. That's not the same thing.
That's nice,
interesting.
though.
Volunteering,
Yeah.
though. Yeah. That's actually, I mean,
That's
do you do a lot of volunteer work or any volunteer work today?
Not as much as I should, but I definitely do it. It's the best way to keep perspective, I think. I mean, God, it's so easy to there's so much screen time now, and like you're lost up your own ass. I feel like more and more every year, and it's like wait a second, I'm getting older. I should be smarter. This should be dissipating, and then nothing makes you feel better than just doing something for somebody else, I think, honestly.
That's
Unless you're
sweet,
a
man.
fucking psycho. In which case you just don't value
care,
that.
yeah,
And I think that goes back to what I was taught, like to value
That's
that.
sweet.
I will
That's
say
very
this, though,
sweet.
like, I will give homeless people money when, like, if I have a couple bucks on me, like, I see him and I'm like, I can give him money. It does make me feel good. It's like, oh, I
For
did
sure.
something nice today.
For sure.
Yeah, I feel
I
that.
find that I think it's cool that people are doing stuff like on TikTok. They're like doing these big grand gesture of helping people, but something about it's like but you're gaining so much from being a good person.
It's a combination of both. But if
there's a little narcissism involved.
there's a little
with that.
narcissism, but if it's effective, I don't even fault that.
Sure,
because-
no. But
Better than not, but still,
I get a little bit of like cringe when I see, them making a big deal out of like helping out this special needs kid, and then they're also like doing the fun thing with the kid, and it's their name on and their face, and they're the ones making the ad revenue. It's like I get like it's
gotta
really
be
cool that
awkward
you're
when
doing
they
it.
try to subtitle that thing.
Jesus Christ. Oh my God!
helping kid with autism. Whoa.
Tomorrow starts to look at yourself in the mirror and go, I'm not going out today.
Hey,
Do us all a favor.
like and subscribe, guys.
Where we're trying to get a little bit more deep, you got to come in. Holy
Don't
hell.
forget, after you're dead, your Instagram page lives on. So click that like button and
Oh, Jesus Christ.
numbers are numbers.
Oh man.
Well, we had one more question. We'll see if this can top whatever just happened. Do you have kids?
I don't.
You don't?
No.
Do you want kids?
Yeah, I think so. I think whatever my wife wants.
If you, this is just bear with this. I'm still trying to figure out how to ask this question. If you have a kid and you die the day they're born, what is the one thing, if you had one thing to tell them that they knew that you told them and to like grow up with, what do you think
That's
it
a
would be?
goddamn good question, Mike, honestly.
None of this means anything.
That's pretty good.
That was an answer for two things, I guess.
Content, kid. That's all you need to know in this business, all right?
Scopo's dying last words. content.
Make sure you start a Patreon.
I think, was he going to say Patriot or Patreon? I don't
What was
know.
he saying? He said content twice and then he didn't finish.
It's content. What?
What?
Serve your
What's the
country.
last thing?
All right, buddy, you're on the hot seat. Come on. It's a tough one. I'm so
even
happy
know.
that this isn't me.
My dadless kid. Jeez.
Or the world. It could be, doesn't have to be the
Jeez.
kid, but
Mom
if,
brings any dudes around, make sure you pee in their hats.
Their hats. Holy shit. Unless it's a top hat and then shit in it. Oh my God. What do you say to your
I'm going to puke.
what do you say to your dadless kid? Oh my God.
This might be too tough a question.
Oh my God. What?
You think?
Oh my
Don't
God.
ride a bird scooter.
It's a callback from an episode ago.
Take care of your joints.
That's actually not a bad one.
That's a good one, actually.
Man.
It's okay. You don't have to. I think there's a couple good ones in there.
It's
There was
just a
good
tough,
ones.
be respectful or something like that.
Yeah, sure. That's fine.
God isn't real.
That's a good one. I like that.
Don't trust anyone. Money's worthless.
She says, don't use a condom. Use the condom, kid, all right?
Yeah, right. Yeah. Only use a condom if she says she doesn't want to use one.
That's the
If
clear
you start a podcast, write it off on your taxes.
Yeah, right.
That's what my dad used to tell
Start
me.
an LLC. What are you doing?
All right. Well, I think we got
perfect.
pretty close. Thank you, Nate, so much
What
for
a-
being
Get the
a part.
platinum Amex.
Here's would be the barcode for radishes.
Paying for groceries is for suckers.
This was the best.
Pay attention to the ounceage.
I'm starting to sweat after that one. Holy shit.
Always fill your ice trays.
I had an internal struggle with that one this morning. I was like, why did I do it last night? I got no ice this morning. Nate, thank you so much for being
Thanks,
here.
buddy.
You're paying for it.
What
What are you plugging? What's going on?
how can they
Preferred
find you?
customer on All Things Comedies, the special, and I'll have a new one coming out this year. But NateCraig.com for all my links.
NateCraig.com. They can find everything, links to the special, all that stuff.
Yes, sir.
Fucking unbelievable comedian, Nate Craig.
Nate
you
Craig,
guys.
Thank you so
Thank you,
much. Thanks for
guys.
being here, buddy.
Thank you,
This was great.